All right, everybody. Welcome to a live959.com website and YouTube page exclusive. Mike Heck here from The Mike Show, and we're being joined right now by a local MMA fighter. He trains in Lenox at ZenQuest Martial Arts. They're just great people over there. And on Saturday night, he went into the cage at Reality Fighting 100 against a very tough Nate Garib at the Mohegan Sun Arena, and he became the Reality Fighting lightweight champion with an absolutely beautiful third-round armbar submission. Matt the Machine Bienia joins us on the phone right now. Matt, what's going on?
Hey, thanks for having me. Really great to talk to you. Excited about this win and just bring another belt back to Berkshires.
Well, obviously, congratulations on the win. I know I told you on Saturday night because I made the drive and I watched it all unfold, and you come away with the submission victory. You win the belt. So, you know, you're just telling me a great story off air. I mean, a little less than 48 hours later, how does it feel?
It feels great. You know, I as far as physically, you know, I think I came away relatively unscathed. My eye doesn't look so great. That was a straight right in the second round that kind of took me back, left some good damage on my eye. But I feel great. I feel like I performed really well, didn't take that much damage, and as far as winning the belt, you know, it was hard earned. He put me through the paces. He made me really work for my takedowns and to implement my submission game. But the fact that I was able to get it to kind of my world on the ground in the third round and put him in a bad spot and force the tap, it was awesome to finally get that after 3 tough rounds.
Now you're not a full-time fighter. You do this and you train all the time, and you're very good at it, obviously, but you do work a full-time job, and you knew questions were going to be coming, and you had a plan prepared for that. So tell everybody what you did to kind of knock everything out in one shot, so to speak.
Yeah, so this morning I was going to leave my house, and I was trying to decide whether or not I should take the belt, what I should do about people asking me with, you know, coming with a black eye. And my wife said, take the belt, and it'll help explain some stuff. So I brought the belt, and then on the way to the office, I also grabbed a couple dozen donuts. And outside my desk area, I've got a couple filing cabinets. I set up the donuts, the belt, and I made like a printout with like a Q&A of like, why do you have a black eye? You know, I had a fight this weekend. Where was it? At Mohegan Sun. Did you win? Yes, they gave me a belt, kind of thing. And the point of the donuts was to get people to stop, wonder why there's free donuts, look at the sheet, and go, oh, okay. And now I don't have to ask him about his black eye. And you know, for the rest of the week, hopefully I get fewer questions. Because last time I came in with black eyes, the office security had to look into it to make sure I wasn't, you know, doing anything stupid outside the office. So I nipped it in the bud.
So you had a little media scrum, essentially, right before your workday began.
Pretty much.
So for those who were not in attendance, you had mentioned it. It was a great fight, 2 very talented, scrappy fighters, and the first 2 rounds were super close. I know it was mentioned in the cage afterwards, you know, you would hate to be the judges at that point because it was very difficult to score. On the stool, about to start round 3, how are you feeling as far as how the fight was going?
I felt really good with my aggression. That was a big part of the plan, was to put the pressure on him and try and get him to force him to strike moving backwards. We knew that he had spent some time in Thailand working on his striking, so we knew that was going to be a big part of it. And I've been moving forward to try and mitigate that, but I was struggling to get my footing. Anyone there, you know, you saw that I slipped a couple times. I felt good about the first round. The second round, he caught me with that straight right, and I finished the round kind of on the bottom for the last couple seconds, landed a couple shots, but I managed to kind of get an arm bar with about 10 seconds left, which I couldn't finish. So it was kind of really a coin flip. My corner was telling me it's close. You need to go out there and get after it, because, you know, I think everyone kind of could see that it was close. I was being really aggressive and pushing the pace, but he was doing a really good job evading. You know, he was playing the matador for the first 2 rounds. I watched the fight again today, and you know, it was from a fan perspective, you know, really entertaining to watch. I was moving forward, and he was just getting out of the way. He pushed me down at one point after catching the kick. So I understand when my coaches were telling me I need to to put it on him and try and make that third round definitive.
Third round, the fight gets to the mat, and you got the chance to put him away. And I think even with some of the post-fight chatter that he knew your game plan in a way was to try to get that submission, and he talked about how no matter what, he was going to refuse to allow that to happen, and he fought like heck to avoid that from happening, especially in the third round. But in the end, he had to tap. But as you have the arm bar locked in, the man is not tapping. Everyone in the crowd could not believe he was not tapping. And, like, what is going through your mind at this point? Are you talking to him? Like, come on, man, just tap. Let's get this thing over with. What's going on here?
Eventually I'll get the Khabib kind of confidence where I can talk to my opponent in the middle of the fight. But at that point, I managed to pry his hands apart using a little detail. Comprito Medeiros taught us at a seminar like 2 years back. I had never used that technique before, and like in the heat of the moment, I knew I needed to get his hands apart. I somehow dug that out from the back of my mind, used that technique to get his arm straight, and in my head I'm going, boom, arm is locked out, this is it. And he's moving, he's riding, he is not giving up. And pretty much when you have an arm bar, you know if he's dead to rights. And I knew he was close, but I could tell that if I didn't make it worse, he had a chance to get out. So my options were to pull it and really hope that I could just get where it was and really get him to submit, or to make it worse and force him to decide how far he wants to take it. So I kind of sat up a little bit. I shifted his hand from my grip to underneath my armpit, and then I arched a second time, and I felt some stuff move in his elbow, and that's when he finally tapped.
I know Nate's a good guy. He went into your locker room after you and congratulated you, showed a lot of respect towards you, and I'm sure the feeling is mutual. But as a competitor, him talking about how you're not going to be able to submit him and actually to get the submission, was a part of you feeling a little bit better about it? Like, I got the submission. You said I wouldn't. I mean, I know it's a respect thing. It's martial arts, and I get that. But from a competitive sense, it probably had to feel a little bit better, a little bit sweeter, knowing that you got that submission when he said there's no way you're going to get it.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually didn't know that he had said that there's no way I could submit him. I did see an interview with him where he said he thought he was going to submit me, which kind of makes that feel a little bit better, where, I kind of took him out with what he thought he was going to get me with. But just getting a submission at all for me it feels amazing. I've always said that I would prefer a submission over a knockout any day, because it's a knockout, you're forcing your opponent's body to give out on them. You didn't mentally beat them. You forced the brain to turn off. They didn't get to decide that. But with a submission, you pretty much get to put a person in a position where they have to decide, do I want to keep fighting? And you essentially force that person to make that decision of, nope, I'm done, you win. And being able to pick up my third submission win, making someone make that decision of, no moss, it feels great to use those techniques that I've been working on to pull that out.
One thing that you will ever notice if you go to a Matt Bienia fight is the amount of support that he has and that you get. It's amazing. And Mohegan Sun Arena is a big arena, and there were a lot of people at that event. What was that like, fighting in front of a big crowd like that? It's probably the biggest you fought in front of, right?
Oh, by far. The first couple events that I fought at were, maybe 300 to 500 people. Ammo was probably in that range, maybe a little bit more. But I'll be honest, I didn't look up. I did not want to kind of create another factor for me to think about. The audience couldn't see it, but the way they had us set up to walk out behind that curtain is, it's wide open standing back there. I could look up and look at the whole crowd. And they brought us out behind the curtain when the fight before us starts. So when that 125-pound title fight started, I was already back there waiting. And I spent 20 minutes the whole time that fight was going, keeping my eyes pretty much down or looking at my coaches or my wife, who was also back there in my corner, just trying to repeat almost like little mantras to myself, things I need to make sure I'm doing in the fight, trying to stay warm. I didn't look up at all. I could hear how loud it was. And then one of the I don't know if she was a showrunner or producer or what her role was, but maybe 2 minutes before I'm about to walk out, she comes behind the curtain. She goes, oh my God, this is incredible. This is the most amount of people we've ever had. We've never sold this many tickets. This is crazy. And I'm standing there thinking to myself, like, come on, you are killing me. I am about to go fight, and you have to go tell me how many people are here, how many people are watching. But fortunately, honestly, until I had that microphone in my face after the fight, I didn't look up. I came out through the curtains. I went straight to the cage, did my couple laps around, and then, I focused on what was inside those 6 walls until the fight was over.
I can certainly not relate to being a fighter by any stretch of the imagination, but you are a father now. That is something I can relate to. Your new #1 fan is going to be cheering on her champion dad here in the future, and I know how much becoming a dad has motivated me, but as an MMA fighter, as an athlete, as it relates to this great sport that we love so much, has becoming a dad changed you? Has it changed the way that you look at the sport, how you prepare, your overall life, really?
It certainly makes scheduling training a little more interesting. Even, we have a little home gym set up, so the days I can't get to, the gym to train technique, I can still do kind of strength conditioning, bag work. We've got some mats at home. I can still get some work in there. But as far as how I view the sport and my role in the sport, it hasn't changed a lot, except I take it almost a little more seriously in the fact that it's a selfish thing to do. Like me going to the gym, I'll spend, anytime I go to the gym, I'm spending at least 3 hours at the gym, and I live nearly an hour away from the gym. So anytime I go to the gym, I just took 5 to 6 hours to be away from my daughter. And I know that it's selfish to do that. So the way I look at it is when I'm at the gym, I'm being selfish and I need to make the most of that. And when I go out and there perform, I just spend 50, 100, 200, however many hours away from my family, away from my wife, away from my daughter. So if I'm going to go do that, I need to do it. I can't just go throw that hours away that I could have been spending time with my family, my wife, my daughter, and then just do nothing with it. So if I'm going to do it, I've got to put everything into it. Otherwise, I'm wasting my time, I'm wasting my wife's time, I'm wasting my daughter's time, and I refuse to do that. So because it's selfish, it means more that I have to make it worth it.
That is a great way to look at it. Is there, I know it's just less than 48 hours removed from your last fight, but any discussions about what's next for you? I mean, obviously, you got the eye, some bumps and bruises. You probably want to chill out a bit, maybe eat a few more cookies like you did there in the holiday season before booking another fight. Maybe, I mean, do you have a card, kind of a date, a time frame in mind for you to get back in there?
Nothing on the horizon yet. I know that Premier has an event on March 10th, Ammo on March 17th. I believe Reality said that their next one is on May 4th. So I know where things are, but as far as when I'm planning on fighting yet, I'm not 100% sure yet. I got to talk to my coaches, talk to my wife. I've got a lot of other obligations out there as well. I juggle a lot of things, so I'm keeping an eye on things, hoping that one of those dates lines up with my other obligations, and trying to get back in there as soon as possible.
Matt Bienia, ladies and gentlemen, the Reality Fighting lightweight champion, coming off his big submission win over the weekend at Reality Fighting 100 at Mohegan Sun. Matt, before you let you go, man, take this time to thank the peeps. Anything else you want to get off your chest, please take the floor. Just
the team that I have supporting me is huge. The people that I train with day in and day out at the gym, they push me a ton. The pace we're pushing in this camp was insane. And the talent level, we're a homegrown gym. We don't have anyone coming in from the outside. So the fact that a lot of people gave up their holidays for this, my coaches opened up the gym on Thursday during that huge storm to, let me get a little more work in, get some sweat going, to make sure I can make weight. That's huge. One of the biggest ones, my wife doesn't get nearly enough credit. She used to train every single day with me when I go up. She's actually taken a little bit of a backseat role, to take care of Kaylee, my daughter, or our daughter, so that I can train more. And she does all my meal prep. She does, she'll do laundry, she'll do stuff around the house so that I can take the time, go to the gym, and not have to worry about certain things. And, the amount that she puts in it shows in the cage, even if she doesn't get the recognition. So she doesn't get half the recognition she deserves, but hopefully she'll get some here. So thank you, everyone, for your support. I really appreciate people coming out and making me feel like it's more than just me in that cage.
All right, Matt, thank you very much for the time. Congratulations on the win, and appreciate it very much, man. Onwards and upwards. Looking forward to a big 2018 for you, I think.
Yes, definitely. It's hopefully going to be a big year, carry this momentum forward, and see where it takes me.